People don't take life seriously because they think not taking life seriously is cool.
This text read, just bought 8 beers, bag of Coke and a blue pill for the crack.
What? I believe that some people have brilliant first impressions, but then you uncover their character and you're like, this person's a fucking cunt.
The chicken doesn't come before the egg. You have to be internally respectful of yourself before externally people can start respecting you.
A great example is Will Smith slapping that guy. What's that guy's name?
I don't know.
However, if they do say something bad enough, don't slap them, punch them.
Yeah.
That's way harder.
Yeah.
I've won in the dunya, people. Why are you doing the Tate pose?
This isn't the Tate pose.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's Tate?
Did he copy off you, did he?
Yeah, must have, bro. This is my Tate.
Welcome to the OB&JT show with me, OB, and the little round-headed buffoon, JT.
Hi. Now, this video is called You Need to Take Yourself Seriously. Jordan, that's such an ambiguous title. What on earth is the wisdom going to contain inside the video? Well, let me start off with the story. Now, there are not many lessons that my father tells me, and I think that is imperative. I need to do that now. Maybe it's just the natural relationship between a son and father. However, I'd always think that's pointless, that's stupid, I don't want to do that. And a lot of them came down to the way I respond to people talking to me, how I respond to people talking to me, whether it be on email, in person, relationships, business, friendships. Now, my dad would always follow a fight fire with fire sort of gig. If somebody tries to not disrespect you, if someone tries to disrespect you or fuck you over or take money from you or take reputation away from you, you need to come back firing on all cylinders. And you do that by outsmarting them in whichever dimension you're playing in. So let's say that's a legal situation. You've got to learn more about that law and fight their fire, their legal case with more fire, more knowledge about the law and get around them. If they are trying to, all right, I'll give another example. At university, my housemates decided that they couldn't live with such a high operating person. This is a true story. They would constantly want to just sit around, smoke weed, lie in, have a messy house. And I was a complete polar opposite. There was 5 of us and I was a single man army fighting the good of hygiene. And I'd clean and I'd shout at them and say, stop leaving your shit everywhere. It's disgusting. Wipe the fucking toilet. Get up. Let's go do some work. Go on a run. And the shame and guilt got to them so bad, they eventually said, you know what, bro? I can't live with you next year. I just can't take it. And whilst I knew in my heart of heart that I hadn't done anything wrong to them, I was only trying to help. Well, I wasn't only trying to help because I didn't really... I guess I did care about their success and prospects, so I was trying to help. But I told my dad about this and he said, okay, well, you've got to fight back. What's the best way to make them take you seriously? Because if somebody is putting themselves above you, putting their needs above you, or thinking that they got more authority over you, that's not taking you seriously. And the way about it as well was very disrespectful. So I established they weren't taking me seriously. And how do I do that? Come back with fire. So I said, okay, bro, well, you know, I got photos of you smoking weed all around the gaff. You lot, all 4 of you, you have to move out because I ain't going anywhere. And then they said, oh, well, we ain't moving. I was like, all right, well, just send the landlord's photo of you smoking weed and say, you're gone. Anyway, I didn't end up doing that because I couldn't be bothered.
That is such a dick move if you did.
that would have been a dick move. But the point was, they made the first dick move. And if you always roll over in life, no one's going to take you seriously. So that makes me beg the question, what does it mean to be taken seriously in life? OB, take it away.
Well, I was thinking when I heard the title of this video, because we don't do any planning whatsoever, we think of a title and then we just start saying words, right? But when you said, what was the title of the video again? It's
Why you need to take
why you
yourself
take yourself
seriously.
seriously. If you think back to school and you picture the class clown, you don't take them seriously.
Mm.
If they make a fool out of themselves on a regular basis to make you laugh, and that is the sole purpose of why they're doing it, then you're never going to take them seriously because they can't take themselves seriously.
Because to be a serious person means you need to be able to sit somebody down, look them in the eye, and tell them exactly what you're thinking and what you're feeling, without any fluff, without any comedic or beating around the bush.
It all comes down to how brutal you are with other people's emotions and how you got to be brutally honest sometimes. If someone like invites you out or asks, do you want to do this, and you're like, oh yeah, but maybe we should do this because we really don't want to do the thing. Fuck that. Just say no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
If you just cut to the fucking shit, then you'll gain a lot more respect than someone who's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it even though you don't want to do it. Fuck that. Take yourself seriously and do what you want to do at any given opportunity and just say it how it is.
So, to take yourself seriously means when you say to yourself you're going to do something like go on a run, you got to fucking do it because you said you're going to do it. Every time you betray your own word, you lose this level of respect, which translates into how seriously you take yourself, your word. And then that translates into how seriously other people take your word.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm always late to something, I myself am going to know that I'm not, there's not 100% probability that I'm going to be on time. And then somebody else will sense that and they won't be able to seriously rely on you to be somewhere at some time. Another example I used to use was stealing, right? I guess you could say taking yourself seriously means you live by rigid rules. I personally choose righteous rules, yeah. I personally choose morality. And I know that if I'm in a partnership with somebody or am collaborating, I'm not going to go against my righteous rules. And that is felt by the other person. And it's somewhat energetic, telepathic.
Mm.
And you can't have one before the other. So you need to take yourself seriously before somebody else can take you seriously.
Do you think earning respect stems from just taking yourself seriously? Because personally, I think most of earning respect is just taking yourself seriously. Like, what does taking yourself seriously actually look like? It means that you're striving for success ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
If you're someone that's in shape, has loads of money, has great social skills, great relationships, healthy, wealthy, people are going to respect you. And you only get that from taking yourself seriously. People don't take life seriously because they think not taking life seriously is cool.
Mm.
Like, do you feel that all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time, like,
I got a perfect example. Some guy I was working with at work today showed me a text message and he goes, look what my mate just sent me. Mate's text read, just bought 8 beers, bag of Coke and a blue pill for the crack.
What? Yeah, I know.
What?
And he's told him that because it's cool.
Yeah.
Right. But taking ourselves seriously is kind of like making this YouTube. We're undergoing immense social pressure, even though I don't actually really feel any social pressure anymore, to do something which is eventually going to lead to something good, which will work in our favor in terms of our ambitions and goals.
Mm-hmm. I want to say if you take yourself seriously, when somebody's violating your time, your money, or your freedom, you will call them out and you are willing to take it to the maximum conflict to protect those 3 parts of your life. So if somebody is late to a meeting for you, you say, okay, mate, well, I don't want to ever see you again. Or you call them out and you say, look, mate, if you're going to work with me, if you're going to see me or benefit from my value, you're never, ever going to waste my time again and be late. If it's wealth, if somebody has hidden a fee from you and, they're trying to take money from you, you're going to say, look, mate, well, now I can't trust you with money at all because I take myself serious enough to not let people like you inside my circle. So now you're gone as well, mate. Now you're freedom. If somebody... That's a tough one, actually.
I was just going to say the absolute maximum is you give them one more chance. Agreed? Depending on how serious the situation is. If the situation is mega serious, then yeah, obviously don't give them any more chances. Get them out of your life.
Yeah.
But in some situations, they could be valuable enough to you to actually excuse them one more time. But when it comes to relationships, this is so fucking necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if a woman disrespects you in any way, if she does it through just being ignorant of general relationship terms or how she should be a righteous, respectful woman, then yeah, you might be able to, say, look, don't do any of that shit again. But if she's like cheated on you, what?
Cheated on you.
She's cheated on you. You get rid of her straight away. No excuses, no nothing. And you do it without any if, buts, or maybes. It's like, nope, you're gone. Delete her off all social media.
Mm-hmm.
She no longer exists in your life.
You made a very good question, though. Do people deserve second chances in these other ones?
It all depends on the situation.
So how would you assess what constitutes eviction?
I know what you do.
What?
Premeditatum malorum. You think about the future outcomes of removing this person from your life or not removing this person from your life.
Mm-hmm.
You sit there and you think about, okay, if I keep this person around, are they still going to have respect for me? Are they valuable enough to stay around? If you get rid of them, has the value they brought more damaging than the respect they'll lose for me or have for me? Sorry. It's weighing up those two, right? It's like value versus respect.
And I'd say there's like a mediation in between eviction. So somebody can, for example, be late and you can just smack them. Be like, don't ever be late again. And then I guess you've taken yourself serious enough to stand up to protect your time with violence, but you don't necessarily have to evict them.
A great example is Will Smith slapping that guy. What's that guy's name?
I don't know.
Because you made a comment about his wife having short hair, right? That is a terrible assessment of taking yourself seriously because it didn't even make anyone take him seriously. It made people take him less seriously.
Interesting.
Whereas he thought, he can't say that about her, I'm going to go slap him. But obviously it was a harmless joke.
So, and that probably stemmed from him not actually knowing what his righteous boundaries were and just trying to follow what he thinks society would have expected him to do.
Yeah.
Because in your heart of hearts, if that comment has really offended you, or if you really feel like he's taking something away from you by saying that, then you do it. I mean, maybe he did, but I guess your argument is that wasn't. It's hard to believe that any man has got a righteous boundary surrounding a comment like that, and actually, he just felt societal pressure to go stand up for a cause which he didn't even believe in.
Potentially. However, if they do say something bad enough, don't slap them, punch them.
Yeah.
Way harder.
Yeah, way harder. So to take yourself seriously is to protect your righteous boundaries, and that applies to the external world, i.e. other people treating you, but also how you internally treat yourself, talk to yourself.
Because it's a reflection of either.
And the chicken doesn't come before the egg. You have to be internally respectful of yourself before externally people can start respecting you. I don't think people think that consciously about it. So my first point would be that I think it all happens subconsciously. I think through eye contact, body language, the way you talk, the words you say, the tone you use, the frequency you talk at, your environment, how you dress, your body stature,
Mm.
who you're with. People will notice tiny subtle differences which increase your respect. For example, let's say at the boxing gym, I notice that sometimes the coaches pay a little bit more attention to me when they see me the morning before training with somebody else and then coming in the next day. But that's not something that would translate into somebody at the shop paying me more respect, right?
Mm-hmm. So we're saying the first impressions are purely appearance based.
Yeah, they have to be. That's all you have.
Yeah. So therefore, to be taken seriously, you actually need to focus on your appearance and how you come across, like in those first few seconds.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know what I personally think is the biggest way to create a great first impression?
Oh,
Smile.
I think that's where I lack.
Yeah.
Because I don't smile very much, as you can tell. Actually, I kind of do smile a little bit on YouTube.
Mm.
But does that mean you get taken more seriously by smiling?
I think that obviously it depends. I don't want to say it depends on the circumstances. I think, yes, it does. I think the fact that I open our interaction with a smile, just this is normally how it goes. I see someone, just a cheeky little smile.
A cheeky little smile.
And I do it all the time when I've just arrived at a new job and like I'm meeting the boss man, or I'm leaving, or I just walk past someone in the street, or I see somebody at the gym. That's just my go-to now, because it sets for me the tone that I don't pose or I don't intend to hurt you. I'm not approaching you or coming with some sort of ego. I want this to be a positive interaction and friendly. Whereas the trap, a lot of people, which I think you actually fall into, is looking apathetic, looking like you don't care. And people will sometimes think that there is a tension or somewhat animosity or some ego battle that is happening before you've even met or spoken.
Yeah, I agree.
And whilst when you speak with somebody, you get to the actual truth of, does this guy want to knock me out? Or does this guy think he's better than me, or is trying to take something from me? Whilst you do get there through talking and getting to know somebody a bit better, I believe that the first impression can fast track that through a smile.
Definitely. But I also believe that some people have brilliant first impressions, but then you uncover their character and you're like, this person's a fucking cunt. Yeah, sometimes you uncover someone's personality and realize that they're not actually as good as their first impression.
Yeah,
I find that loads, but I feel like I'm sort of the reverse. Like, I think I'm not great at the first impression thing, but I think once you get to know me, I'm actually like a pretty sound guy. I believe. I think that's what people have told me as well. Like, people.
My advice to you would be open with a smile. Don't be afraid to engage in brain dead small talk at the first instance with somebody. For example, when I went to Argos, I just walk in, smile, and say, "Oh, you got a leak?" Because they obviously had a leak, and like
They're just like, nah, mate, it's raining in here.
I know.
Oh, you're a dick.
But it suggests that you set the tone for the interaction. I want to approach this social interaction with friendliness, and I'm not trying to like. Oh, it also breaks the ice a bit.
Yeah, no,
because
I have been trying to do this more. Like, in the last couple of years, I've realized how important it is to just be a good socializer and actually try and smile more and just be a little bit more emotionally engaged with the interaction, you know?
And like we said in one of our Stoic Riz episodes, you don't actually have to feel the emotion. You could just fake emotions. Like a smile suggests that you're happy, but you could be completely miserable. But why walk into a place, meet somebody for the first time looking miserable? Because it's just not going to suggest the right things you want.
Yeah.
And that could say the same when somebody comes to you with like their bullshit problem about how their cat got hit by a truck. You look at them and go, "Oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry to hear about your cat. Are you all right?" When really you're trying to, beat people up every single week in boxing and start a multi-million-pound online business, and the Matrix are after us.
We're just doing Aikido.
And you don't care about their cat.
Yeah.
But then does that create an authenticity?
I've been OB.
I've been JT. Over motherfucking out.